fellow geeks, Super Geek Girl here, coming to you live as always from Studio SGG in the heart of Studiopolis Zone. Hope you guys are having a lovely Tuesday and that you had a lovely Thanksgiving. Hello everybody, hello NSM, hello Myers, hello Zach, hello Gabe, welcome guys. So glad to see y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope you guys had a lovely Thanksgiving. Mine was a little hectic, but still a lot of fun. Oh God, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh God. Oh God. You've been waiting for days to do that, haven't you? But yeah, no, my Thanksgiving was great. Spent a lot of time with my mom. She came down for several days prior to the festivities. So it was me and my in-laws and her and my husband. And it was good. It was good. You know, the usual fare, turkey, stuffing, all that biz. Shopping on Friday, not at the stores. We did small town shopping. So like kitschy downtown antique shopping, old school, old town shopping, which was actually quite fun. I like a good kitschy downtown area. And then Ren Fair on Saturday, where we didn't completely get rained out. We only got mostly rained out. But it was still fun. We met up with some old friends. I may or may not have walked away with some stuff. So it was fun. All in all, great to spend time with the fam and, you know, all that rest and rejuvenation stuff. But we're back. How many people did you have? Can you contend with 30? Oh my God. Bruh. That's... What is the max occupancy of your house? Like, we can barely fit 30 people in, like, the entire downstairs area. Like, 30 people wouldn't even fit in our downstairs. Like, bruh, how big is your house? 30 is outrageous. 30 is too much, man. Like, I stress just making enough food for 6 people. I can't imagine being responsible for a menu of 30. That's... Dude, at that point, just call a caterer. Order pizza, order like 6 jumbo-sized pizzas and call it good. Like, that is the extent of the meal planning I'm gonna do for 30. It wasn't my house, it was my aunt's house, but there are too many family members. My mother has 6 siblings, each of them married. Oh boy. And all of them have kids, and then they all have kids, and oh God. So it's a multi-generation, mayhem. Multi-generational mayhem. There you go. That sounds like... That sounds correct. Well, regardless of the packed house, I still hope you had a great time. 100 Girlfriends needs a Thanksgiving Christmas episode. Thanksgiving, highly unlikely, unless they decide to do something with Natty. Christmas, very likely. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there would be like a Christmas OVA for 100 Girlfriends. Because with that many girls, you would have to have it be an OVA. It would have to be like a movie. You can't do just one 30-minute episode of Christmas with that many girlfriends. You'd have to do like an OVA. Rentaro and the gang save Christmas or something. That would be funny as hell, honestly. Japan doesn't really celebrate Thanksgiving as far as I know. No, they don't. It is purely American. I too would kill for a Christmas episode. Would it be fun? Wouldn't it be so fun? By the way, thank you to whoever posted the Christmas artwork of the girls in the Discord server. As usual, my girl Karine killing it with her fit. Everyone looks great, but my girl looks the best because of course she does. A Christmas Hot Springs episode. Hey, there you go. There you go. Now you're thinking with portals. Now you're thinking with fan service. Hello, Cadmus. Welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. But But yeah, they will never be. They never will. They're stuck in spring. They're eternally stuck in spring. Yeah. No. You know what? No. That's gonna be the plot. That's gonna be the plot. Is they are so self-aware that they're gonna realize, hey, we've been stuck in spring for like months upon months. Like, we're never gonna be able to celebrate Christmas. Well, screw it. We'll just bring our own Christmas. We'll do Christmas ourselves, and Rentaro will find a way to bring Christmas to the middle of spring. I believe in this man. I believe in this man and the love that he has for all of his girlfriends. He will make the perfect Christmas happen in the middle of friggin' April. I believe in Rentaro. Forget Santa Claus. I believe in Rentaro. Seriously though, that would be really fun. Like, I would totally be down for 100 Girlfriends Christmas special. That would be so freaking fun, man. Speaking of Christmas, however, speaking of holidays, I am getting some— oh god, there they come again! No! Wait! Is it over? And of course there's a bot. Boo! Mods, do your thing, please. As I was trying to say, she and Caesar have mistletoe or something around their necks. I can already imagine how hard Carne will try to stand over him to get him under it. Oh no! There's gonna be a battle royale for that mistletoe. And I guarantee you, Hawkery and Carne are gonna end up under it at one point. Because that's just any chance that the authors can get for these two to smooch. They will take the opportunity for these two to smooch. Mistletoe is a perfect excuse for that. Oh, man. That as I've been trying to say before I keep getting interrupted by ducks and things. I do have a special little Christmas treat for you guys. Obviously I won't be streaming on Christmas Day. And I probably am going to be out of town again the week of Christmas. But mark your calendars, guys. December 20th. We're gonna do Community Day. We are gonna have a Supersonic Community Day. I'm gonna do that private server for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, followed by a watch party of Sonic OVA in the Discord server. Now, this event is going to be exclusive for Discord members. So, if you are— also, you will have to have a copy of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds to participate. As much as I would love to provide a copy for you, I don't have that money at the moment. But things may change. Anyway, but yes, I'm planning on December 20th having a Sonic-themed community day for you all. It's been a long time since we've had one of those, so I want to consider this my Christmas gift to all of you. Is Sonic Community Day on Saturday, December 20th. More details to come. But you will need to be part of the Discord to participate. And if you're not, this is a great opportunity to join the Discord server. So be sure and check that out if you would like to hang out with me. There will be more community days to come in the future. There will absolutely be more Ace Attorney watch parties, maybe Danganronpa watch party. We'll see. I wanna— one of my resolutions for the new year is to have more community events and to hang out with you guys more. So I will try to make that happen. But there you go. Mark your calendars and get ready. December 20th is going to be a fun day for everybody. So I hope you are looking forward to that. For now, however, now it's time for something that I have been looking forward to very, very much. Earlier this year, I got to share the exciting news that I am in the latest Our Life game, Our Life Now and Forever, where I am playing the role of Tamarack Bauman, a child version of Tamarack Bauman, one of the main characters of the game. I've been working on this game, I'm working on the voice for this game for the better part of a year now. And I'm very excited to announce that the demo is finally available. Now, unfortunately, the demo doesn't have the voice acting in it. But that's okay. We can at least get a taste for the game, and hopefully it'll get you guys hyped to check out the game when it releases next year. So, with all of that being said, let's check this game out, shall we? I am so excited for this. I've had a great time working on this game, guys, and I'm so excited to get to share this with you. Also, shout out to GB Patch Games and the crew over there for bringing me on board and for allowing me to show you guys the demo for the game. So, thank you, GB Patch. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. I have Danganronpa brain rot right now. I would totally be down for a Danganronpa watch party. Yes, we might, if for no other reason than to rip the Danganronpa anime apart. But here it is! Here it is! Welcome to Our Life Now and Forever! And there's me! There I am! I'm the little redhead! That's my girl! She's so adorable, you guys. And of course, I am opposite, we're opposite, Cholin, who is voiced by the lovely Emily Sun. Again, this is, not the voiced version. Voices will be in the full version of the game, which will release next year at some point. But I know Emily's been working just as hard as I have, and I'm very excited to see her work as well as everybody else who has contributed and is working on this game. We've got a really great cast, guys, and I'm really excited to play this. Is this your second voiceover role for a video game? Yes, it is. This is my second major video game role. I was, of course, Shale Inverse in Time Dust Games Inversed. I think that was 2 years ago or last year. I'm not sure when that came out. But yes, this is my second leading role in a game, and I'm extremely excited. Yes, the game. Yes. Sorry, I'm getting my games confused. Inversed was last year. Thank you. Our Life Now and Forever full version will be releasing next year in 2026. No date confirmed yet, but it will be sometime next year. So please look forward to that. Of course, when the game comes out in full, I will be celebrating. We'll definitely be checking it out on the channel as well. So with that being said, let's see what we can do. All right, so you're totally going to play the full version when it comes out. Yes, I am absolutely going to play the full version. Absolutely, we are. We played Inverse to completion, so we're going to play Our Life to completion as well. And I probably there's a very high non-zero chance of me going and playing Beginning and Always as well, the other game in the Our Life series. There's quite a lot of games in this series. Quite a lot of content and a very passionate, dedicated fan base for this franchise. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking out more of this game in the future. All right, here we go. Welcome to Our Life Now and Forever. We'll be able to share your voice for Tamarack on stream. I'll give you guys a little preview of Tamarack's voice. I think I can do that. Now, Emily, I have no idea what her voice for Cho is going to be. So I'll just do the best that I can there. But, I can do a little preview of Tamarack's voice. Maybe for a line or two. Alright, welcome to Our Life Now and Forever. In Our Life, gameplay is divided into steps, which take place at different ages in your character's life. There are 4 years between each step. Step 1, where the game begins, starts at 10 years old. Step 2 at 14, Step 3 at 18, and the epilogue Step 4 at 22. Hey! Thank you very much, NSM. Thank you for the gift sub. Much appreciated. Oh, this is cool. At the start of each step, you can customize your character by choosing their appearance, name, gender, pronouns, and other information. Almost everything can change at the start of a new step. That's so cool! Thank you for the gift sub! Much appreciated! Congrats to Emily Sunnyville and Josie McFly! Please enjoy the gift subs, guys! Here we go. This is cool. I like this. The fact that you can customize your avatar at every point in the game. Our life is played from a first-person perspective, so you won't see an image of your character next to the other characters. However, the character you create here will be shown as an icon in dialogue boxes and across the UI, and your appearance will be referenced in game. Oh, okay, this is dope. This is cool, actually. Thank you very much for the bit, by the way. Thank you. So that's cool. So yeah, we don't get a sprite, but we do get our little portrait posted around all over the place. That's cool. I wish more graphic novels. I wish more visual novels did this. What a neat idea. The demo currently includes scenes from step 1 and step 2 only. So for further clarification, I am Tamarak's voice in step 1. So I'm playing the child version of Tamarak. Also, we do get to customize our kiddo. Oh, how fun! Okay, well, I am as white can be, so we'll try to make her look like I did when I was circa 10 years old. You think Tomodachi Life should make you customize your gender and pronouns? Absolutely. Why the hell not? Let's see. I was a pretty scrawny little kid. This isn't a visual. I know what I said. I meant a... You know what I meant. I meant visual novel, not graphic novel. I know the difference. Yes, I have seen the demo of, I have seen that the demo has been released of 2x2. I haven't had a chance to check out the video yet. But me and everybody else in the DRV3 server is lamenting the loss of, the snatched waist of, Hinata. Hajime's snatched waist is gone, and we're lamenting that loss. Luna and I were earlier. Though the snatched waist aside, it looks really good. The new artwork looks absolutely superb. Like, I'm very excited for that. It looks great. Just why did you take away his snatched waist though? Why? Anyway. Yasuhiro is dead in the demo yet again. He's done in every demo now. The ultimate demo victim! Beautiful. You'll love to see it. Alright, let's see. Back to this. I was a very scrawny little kid. Let's see. I would say these are kind of close to my eyes. My hair. I had very, very light brown hair as a kid. What? Oh. Oh. Hang on. Hang on a minute. Obviously, child SGG, little SGG did not have pink hair. I had very, very light brown hair as a child, but you know what? This is fine. All right, let's see here. It's like I'm playing a Picrew, and I'm very happy about that. Oh, and you can flip the part around. Cute. This really does feel like my Eevee fell over. All right, let's see. Choppy bangs. I had some pretty intense bangs as a kid. Let's see. Here we go. This kind of looks like... Nah, here we go. Here we go. Go with the bowl cut. Actually, I think this is close. This is close to little SGG. Oh my goodness, look at all of this. Oh, this is... yeah, we're just playing a pit crew at this point. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, hang on. Alright, how about... I wore a lot of bright colors as a kid. So we'll go with that. What are the overlayers? Okay, so it's that. I'm trying to find, like, I guess this is close. I used to wear a lot of denim when I was a little kid. Denim was, like, my thing. I had denim vests, denim jackets, denim on denim. Everything was denim. Now, little SGG did not have a hat, though. She did not have a hat. So we're gonna forego the hat. But we will give her big old glasses. And no ear piercings. Not as a kid. I didn't get my ears pierced until I was, like, 15, 16 years old. Should we give her a little band-aid? Nah. This is... Aside from the pink hair, this is pretty much how I looked when I was 10. Let's see. I didn't really have freckles. I don't really have any moles. Did not have vitiligo. Did not have any birthmarks. No scars. That's sad. But that is cool that they have this stuff. All right. I know. I think this is... What do you guys think? Should I give little SGG... Should little SGG keep the pink hair, or should this be true to life? True to life and just my boring natural hair color. Accurate and perfect. So we like the pink. You know what? Let's split the difference. Let's split the difference. We'll do this rosy pink colors. It's still kind of close to my hair color, but it's still a little bit fanciful. This is basically how I looked as a little girl. Very cute. What do you think of Has Been Hotel Season 2 as a whole? Okay, so let me go ahead and get this out of the way. As far as Has Been Hotel, as far as Season 2, it was great. Loved it. Loved the song. Still do. But I am... I know that I said I was going to do a song tier list of Has Been Hotel, but given what's going on with Amazon recently, I'm not going to be doing that for a while. I am really, really upset about the AI dubs. And even though the AI English dubs of Banana Fish and No Game No Life have been removed, the other languages are still there. They're still... Nothing has changed. They just got rid of the English one because people griped about it. Which, good on them. Good for you guys. Good for everybody who complained to Amazon. Like, let's celebrate the W's that we can on that. Like, I will jump up and down and celebrate the W's. But I am in no way on Team Amazon for any reason. The battle, yes, exactly. The battle has only just begun. And until that point in time, I am still going to be boycotting Prime and not using Amazon for any of my shopping. That is still going on. Unfortunately, that also means that I am not going to be doing the tier song list stream at this point in time. In the future, it's still on the table. It is something that I would still like to do, but given what's been going on with Amazon recently, I feel like it would not be appropriate. I feel like it would not be appropriate to do that right now. So, yeah, sorry. The Hazbin Hotel was great. Love it. Love the series. Love the songs, but I am in no way supporting Prime right now, so no. We're anime in public domain. Yes! The answer is yes. I will always oppose AI dubs. This is my livelihood that we're talking about. Alright? There is no middle ground here. If you support AI, if you think that AI dubs is a good reason for any idea, get out of my stream right now. I don't want you here. I will always and forever be anti-AI, and especially anti-AI dubs. There is no argument on this. There is no playing devil's advocate. If you think that AI dubs are a good idea, leave. I don't want you here. Anyway, let's get the unpleasantness out of the way and get back to, let's get back to little kid SGG. Shall we? Alright, here we go. Oh, wow, there was a lot. Actually a lot you can do here. First name. Well, we will use... We will use the actual name here. I mean, everybody already knows who I am, so... However, I did go by a different nickname as a child. Technically, it wasn't until I was a teenager, but it was close enough. Hello, Stumpy! Thank you so much for tuning in. I did actually go by a different nickname in my childhood. My nickname was Little A. So, what happened was my brother, so my brother started going to this, like, church youth group or whatever, and everyone started calling him Big A, because his name also starts with an A. When I came along and joined that same group, because I was the little sister, they started calling me Little A. And the name just kind of stuck around for a couple of years. I go by SGG now, obviously, but back in the day, I was Little A. So we'll use my childhood nickname for this. Dominant hand. I am right-handed. Height. I am short. I am small.
Oh my God!
I was always a small child. And I'm a small adult now, but I was also really scrawny as a kid. Short and scrawny, that's me. Alright. I'll be calling you Little A from now. Please don't! That's... that is an era of my life that no longer applies to me. Alright, let's see here. Pronoun, she, her, female. Oh my goodness. Wow, they were not kidding about the customization. This is awesome, actually. Like for people who do have Sir Ariel Graham. No, I refuse. That's really funny though, Sir Ariel Graham. That doesn't work. I'm knighted. I've been knighted. No, but even as a knight, it would be lady. It would be Lady Graham, wouldn't it? We're knights. Yeah. Thank you. Or Madam Ariel Graham. Or Dame. I am loving all of these honorifics, guys. I'm loving all these royal titles for me. Lady Ariel, Madam Ariel, Dame Ariel. I love it. You know, I could always just get like a... I could always just get like a title of royalty from like Sealand or whatever. If you don't understand, go watch Italia. It'll explain everything. Little Sealand. But yeah, I can understand for people who don't get as much representation in games, for people who are trans and intersex and all that, this is awesome. Like, this level of customization is such a breath of fresh air. It's very good to see. I'll go with Miss Ariel. That's what my kiddos called me when I was a teacher, so we'll go with that. And people feminine leaning, yes. In our life now and forever, your character has a biological mother. She has 3 hair textures and 6 skin tones and can look as similar or different from your character as you like. While her hair and skin will remain constant throughout the rest of the game, you can choose a new title and or name for her at the beginning of each step. You can also set your hair and eye color to match hers using a special tint from the color palette when adjusting your hair or eye color. Matching your hair or eye color may be acknowledged in games. Oh my god! Yo! We can make Super Geek Mom! We can make Super Geek Mom! Oh, that's lovely! That's so cool! Okay. But can I change it? Can I change it? Can I change her hair? My mom does not have short hair. Mama doesn't have short hair. She's as pale as I am, but she don't got short hair. This is not how Super Geek Mom looks, by the way. But I guess when you play the full version, you can customize her to look a little more like you, because this is very much not how Super Geek Mom looks. Super Geek Mom has very long dark hair and is shorter than me, if you can believe that. But it's very cool. Like Super Geek Mom is gonna get representation in this game too. Oh yeah, no, I am gonna show my mom this. She'll love it. This looks nothing like her, but she'll love it. Choose a sticker! Oh, they don't have any stars, but they do have a moon. I guess that's close enough. Okay, let's see. Oh, so this shows how the text is displayed. What do you think, guys? Do we want comic book style, or do we want visual novel style? Yeah, I kind of like the comic book, actually. I think that's cool. Let's go with comic book. Oh, okay. I guess we're in the game now proper. All the setup is done. All right, here we go. Oh, I guess I should probably put the mic on for this, since this is technically a voice acting stream. Here we go. It looked like fall in Golden Grove. More than any place you'd seen before. It could be in one of your old picture books to show little kids what autumn was supposed to be. There weren't any green trees or bushes, but there weren't just bare branches yet. It was almost the same as normal. All that had changed were the colors. Red, orange, yellow, brown. Even the blue of the sky high above your head seemed different than it did in summer. It wasn't as bright either, as though it had gotten tired of sparkling by this late in the year. Or like it was even farther away from you now than you were in this place. The plants and sky didn't get this way where you lived. Where you used to live. Ah, we are the new kid in town. Your thoughts continued to jump around while you stood there in the big circle of street at the end of the road. It was a weird path to you. It couldn't take you ahead or to the sides or anywhere else like most streets you'd gone down. This one only came right here, with those big houses. I mean, to be fair, the first time I saw a cul-de-sac when I was a kid, I was also confused. I was like, where's the rest of the street? So I get this. The view in front of you was something you'd only ever seen in photos before, from stapled together papers that advertised the middle house being for sale. It had been a picture book to you, until this day. Now you knew that it felt like fall here, too, because it was cold outside. Chilly enough that you sometimes held your eyes closed for a few seconds longer than usual to try to keep your eyeballs from feeling like they were going to freeze inside of your head. This was a real place. The icy air surrounding you said, This was a real place, the icy air surrounding you said, and you were really in it. And it was where you were going to stay. That was new. You and your mom had lived in apartments before, and never for very long each time. That was until she'd gotten a big job in this not that big town and bought a big house. You wouldn't be going anywhere else for a long time. Now, in that moment, you couldn't imagine being there forever. But that's just the way it was. The old tan house at the very end of the long round road was now your house, standing tall with two others by its side. Those buildings were homes too, with their own people living inside. And those people in those ancient houses were going to be your neighbors. Oh. Hello, Bushmaster. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to Try It Tuesday. We are playing Our Life, Now and Forever. A game which I am in as Tamarack Bauman, who we will hopefully meet very soon. Let's see here. Throughout Our Life, you can make many choices that shape your character's personality and relationships to the people around them. The other characters may remember and bring up information they've learned about you later. In Our Life, there are no right or wrong answers. You can choose to be upset or angry, to reject invitations, or to dislike other characters. And these choices will affect the narrative. But there are no bad endings in Our Life. Your opinions and overall personality can shift over time as well. So you can choose to play as someone who is closed off at 10 years old, but opens up as they get older, or vice versa. Their story is yours to tell. Yeah. This is getting very telltale. Tamarack will remember that. Yeah. I love it, though. I love that it's this in-depth. This is wonderful. Hello, Locomotive, and hello, Will Strive. Welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Welcome to Try It Tuesday. We're playing Our Life Now and Forever. A game in which I am a character in. And we will hopefully meet her soon. Okay, so how would little SGG feel about moving to a new place? So in real life, I did not move until I was an adult. I stayed in the same house all throughout my childhood, teenage, into my young adult years. So I've never actually had this experience as a child. My husband, on the other hand, moved around all the damn time. But if it were me, going back to little bitty SGG, I think little SGG would have been very excited about this. You were super excited about everything happening. Yep, that sounds like little SGG. Nothing was gonna be boring anymore. It was even better because you'd be doing this with your mom. It was good that part was nice since your mom was no fun. Aww. No matter what, you keep looking out for your mom. I think the first one. It was even better because you're doing this with your mom. You'd have so much fun together. Oh, here we go. If only could go back in time and show this to your past self. Dude! If little SGG knew that she was going to become a voice actor someday, she would be over the moon. Alright, I'm not gonna do an impersonation of my mother's voice. I can't really do an impersonation of my mom's voice, but let's, okay, there we go. Ariel, come on over and take a look. Oh, that was your mom's voice. You hadn't noticed she'd gotten so far. You wasted no time catching up in order to reunite with her. Off the cul-de-sac road and cutting across lines of grass and sidewalk, you reached the picket fence your mom had called from. The gate was unlocked. Unlike the other houses, in front of yours was a tiny gray stone walkway. that led up to a couple little steps, and those steps led to the door. You walked along the private path, making sure each foot landed squarely on a rock and not on one of the dirt cracks in between, until you arrived at the end of the line. Then you hopped up the tiny stairs to join your mom. And there your mom was, standing at the edge of the porch, arms folded and waiting. Again, not how Super Geek Mom actually looks, but for all intents and purposes, this is Super Geek Mom. She must have been moving around before, because the shiny opal earrings she had on were twisting from side to side a little bit. You knew they were real opal stones because she had told you before, when she first got them. She also told you a long time ago that her normal name, not Mom, was Opal. What a pretty name for our mom! Her clothes were the colors of a cloudy day after rain had already come and gone. The kind of day that could be cold and bad, or really relaxing and comfy. It depended. You wonder which way she looked at it from. You didn't know. The rest of her, though, was so much more bold. Especially the matching purpley cranberryness of both her hair and eyes. There weren't a lot of things out in the world with that color that could feel gloomy. Mom smiled at you. It made you feel as soft and warm on the inside as your mom was on the outside. What do you think? It's a pretty place, huh? Alright. I've seen worse junk. I've seen better places. It's beautiful. It's okay, I guess. I hate this. You stare at her blankly. You nod eagerly. She confused. You refuse to even look at her. Why are we so hostile? Why are there so many hostile things to our mom? Well, I guess most kids would be a little upset about moving. Little SGG would be very, very excited about this. So, not eagerly. Her mouth stayed in the shape of a smile, but her eyes and eyebrows changed, bending in a way that made it seem like she wasn't really smiling. Or it was some other kind of smile. She put a hand on one of the white-painted pole things that kept the porch roof from falling down. Her fingers moved along it. Won't be too much longer. The real estate agent should be here to hand over the keys in a couple hours or so. Then, it'll be official. We'll be the newest residents of Golden Grove. You shifted your weight from one foot to the other. This was a big deal to your mom. Her whole life was changing too. You hoped it wouldn't be a mistake. You didn't want your mom to be sad. Well, you've seen the yard and the outside. You don't have to wait here the entire time. How about you go look around the rest of the neighborhood? She bent down. Oh, bending down sounds. Ambient noise, yay. She bent down, placing her hands on her knees in order to speak directly to you on the same level. Again, another way you know that this isn't Super Geek Mom, because my mom wouldn't have to bend down. she and I were about the same height. It's a safe town, especially in this area. You'll be able to play freely out here. You shrugged. You needed her to say it was okay. You didn't need her to say it was okay. You could look out for yourself. You turned your face away from her defiance. You covered your face with your hand, not wanting to go. Just the neighborhood? That wasn't exciting. You wanted to go everywhere. Now we'll be happy. We'll perk up at the suggestion. Mom went back to her normal way of standing, with her head held up high and arms folded. That's the spirit. Enjoy yourself. Just don't stray onto any other streets today.
Yes, Mom!
Thank you. I trust you. With that, you flipped around, bounded down the steps, and went back towards the sidewalk, ready to explore. Bye, not Super Geek Mom! Prologue! Step 1. You have the voice of a standard high school girl. Dude, why do you think I'm doing anime? I'm in the correct profession! Thank you! Your shoes really squished into the dirt part. Your shoes really squished into the dirt part when you crossed from where you were down to the solid road. The smell of the grass and rain-softened ground, crisp though somehow also kind of musty, hung in the air, bringing a whole new year of school with it. You were going to be a 5th grader. It would be completely different from being a 4th grader. And not just because you'd be attending a new school. You'd be in the highest grade of the place. Maybe that's why your mom was so sure you could do this by yourself. You were growing up. So, 5th grade wasn't the highest grade in my school district. It was, elementary school went all the way up to 6th grade, and then junior high started with 7, 8, 9, and then high school was 10, 11, 12. I did not realize until I got older how vastly different my school district was from everybody else's. Like, the fact that 6th graders were considered teenagers in other parts of the state was, like, wild to me. For me, teenagers started at 7th grade, not 6th. It felt good knowing that there was more and more out there that you'd be able to explore on your own. Then, before you took one more step, there was a faint tap against your shoulder. It was barely stronger than the wind, but it was definitely something, and it was completely out of nowhere. Let's see. You wondered what that... I'm gonna save real quick. I don't know when this is gonna crash on me again. So, you wondered what that was. You jumped straight in the air out of shock. Both your fists went up defensively. You screamed, "Ah!" You rubbed your shoulder, feeling annoyed at whatever it was. It was a ghost! Little SGG was just as reactionary as normal, but we're in the middle of a break too, so I'll wait for a second. Fifth grade was the lowest grade in middle. Oh wow! So you were in middle school in 5th grade? That's crazy. Like that's. I was still in elementary school. Yeah, because it was K through 6, and then 7th through 9th, and then 10th through 12. I think that's how it went. Yeah, that's how it went. It was after... So after I graduated, that's when everything kind of restructured, and then they started bringing 6th graders into junior high and 9th graders into high school. Which was dumb, because the schools were already crowded enough. Like, even as a high schooler, like, the schools were super jam-packed with kids. Bringing 9th grade up into the high schools in my school district was a terrible, terrible mistake. Alright, let's see here. Jumped straight in the air out of shock. It was pure instinct. You hadn't even realized it happened until you were back on the ground. Rapidly, you ping-ponged your gaze from left to right, trying to get a glimpse of the poking perpetrator. But no one was there. The neighborhood was empty. Except for you. You would have settled on it being a mystery forever, if you hadn't noticed there was a thing left behind from the encounter. Sitting there in between the muddy brown blades of grass was something new. A paper aeroplane! Oh, here I am. A paper airplane? Who would throw this at a stranger? And why am I changing my voice? It's my own voice! Why am I changing it? Who would throw this at a stranger? And why would they disappear after doing it? As you considered those questions, your gaze shifted back towards the right, the side of the street where the tap came from. Whoever sent this to you had to have gone that way. You crouched down to grab it, while keeping a lookout to make sure nothing else snuck up on you. The paper didn't feel the same crinkly, crackly way most normal paper did. It was thicker, somehow. Almost like a piece of cloth. It was cotton. That wasn't the only part that stood out. The page was a tan color, with dark brown lines. Not white and blue, or white and black, or something regular. More questions to add to the confusion. Where would paper like that have come from? You turned the paper airplane around in your hands and squinted your eyes keenly. There were pencil markings on the underside. The paper had scribbles, or maybe even letters. That was enough of a sign to undo the shape someone had put together. You pulled at the flaps of the plane and flattened it out between your palms as best you could. It was true. The paper airplane had a message. Well, maybe. There were some words on it, but not a lot, and they were on different lines from each other. You read over each tiny part from top to bottom. Hello. Go out. Hide out. And then in the bottom corner was Ariel Graham. Your name. It had been addressed to you personally. There was no mistake that you were the one meant to get that plane. You scrunched up your face. A person who wrote stuff on a piece of paper, turned it into a paper airplane, threw it at another person, and the message they sent was that? Yeah, we're back. We had some scuff. Sorry. Okay, so as I was saying, I bought the Knuckles Blu-ray for Black Friday and brought No Games, No Life complete collection. Yeah! Good for you. Well done. Okay. Grown-up SGG. If I got a paper airplane addressed to me, telling me to go to a hideout, I would be worried. I would think that was sus. But little SGG was a lot braver than, today's SGG. This was a mystery worth solving. Maybe the words were a code you had to break. You were going to get to the bottom of this. Someone or something had to have sent this to you. You weren't going to stop until you found out who and why. Past the parts where the light shone through the clouds and the parts where it got darker, you began your investigation by heading in the same direction the paper had hit you from. The half circle of houses was out of sight by the time the normal sidewalk ended. And it really ended. Instead of connecting to another street with homes or stores, there was the car road behind you and a bunch of trees and plain ground in front. Going down the road would have to bring you to the rest of the town eventually, but you were sure that would be straying too far like your mom warned against. That was okay. You had other options. Oh, man. I would have loved to have lived next to a forest. This is very Calvin and Hobbes. Like, did anyone else read Calvin and Hobbes and, like, got insanely jealous of Calvin living in that big, next to that big, beautiful forest and going on all of these adventures with his stuffed tiger? I was so jealous of Calvin as a kid. Like, I would have loved to have lived next to a forest. Like, I was really jealous of my husband the first time that he took me to, his house. There was this gorgeous forest. Oh, it wasn't really a forest, but it was a very woody, tree-y area. It might as well have been a forest to someone like me. And it was so beautiful. I remember we spent, like... This was when we were still dating, by the way. This wasn't, This wasn't when we were married. This was when I came down to, I think, either spend Thanksgiving with him for the first time or to surprise him after we had graduated. It was one of the first times I had been to see his folks and see his family. But he took me all around his neighborhood, took me all around these woods. It was so pretty, and I was just like, it was idyllic, you know? Like, it was the kind of place that I would have loved to have grown up in. Unfortunately, now a lot of those woods are gone because the subdivision has grown and a freeway has come in and kind of destroyed those beautiful trees. There's still some pretty parts, but it's nowhere near it was when I first saw it, so... Grrr. Damn you, capitalism. Anyway. Bending in between the dark trunks and bright leaves were two lines stamped out through the grass. They went in opposite directions. It was a crossroads. One led more towards where the neighborhood was, but back further, right on the edge of where the forest started. The other went completely into the trees, a walking path for the people who lived here. You stood there at the start of this turning point in the woods, in your life, feet poised to move over the stirring thicket floor. You knew exactly which one you wanted. You didn't know where you were going. Well, you know, some things never change. Even as a kid, I had no sense of direction. How could you know which one was better? You'd never tried either, and there were no clues on where to start now. It was a puzzle that made you pause. You thought about it as hard as you could, even shutting your eyes to focus. Then, finally... Ooh... Where do we go? Let's go down the left side. And your quest continued. Once you went through the foresty path, you had truly entered the wild woods. Nothing else surrounded you any longer. Nature spread across the land, with the narrow dirt line and fence being the only sign anyone had walked in this spot before you. People were only visitors here. Golden and red leaves gently rustled against each other in thick clumps, with each tree's branches flowing into the others nearby. It was enough to keep the sun and sky out almost completely, but the leaves burned bright with the light basking over them from above. The foot-made passage continued to twist around up higher into the mountainside, farther than you could see. It was so boring. This was creepy. You regretted coming out here. It was dirty and icky. You preferred the neighborhood over the leaves. You were amazed. Yeah, little SGG was not an outdoorsy kid in any sense of the word. So... I don't know. Probably boring. With impatience growing over you like all the dumb moss on those trees, you forced yourself to push deeper into the thicket. The quiet bubble that existed here in the forest, away from the town, popped from a sudden, unnatural clatter. You snapped your head up. It was a whooshing, thumping, and stirring up of the leaves, like something had crashed into them. You knew for sure that wasn't the wind. It had to have been an animal, or a person, and it came from right over there. You decided to just take a peek. You crouched lower and snuck off the path. It was harder to keep your footing on the slanted, untrimmed ground. When you reached a really tree-cluttered spot, you grasped at the branches and pushed them aside in order to poke your head through. You moved them the same way you'd open up a set of curtains, but it was a lot harder to do. The tiniest branches couldn't take the bend and snapped from the pressure. You could feel the splintery ends of the plant scratch a little at your face and clothes. It wasn't as secretive of a check as you'd hoped it would be. On the other side of that tree line was still the woods, but kind of an empty part. There was a lot of open ground with no trees or bushes growing, and a ton of leaves that were gathered into a pile. Past that clearing, the trees were back, and even more closely pressed together than they were by the path. It was mysterious. There was nowhere easy to go, and nothing seemed out of place to you. Until... There she is! There she is! There's our girl! Yay! It's Tamarack! It's Tammy! What a charming introduction! Oh, I love it! It's her! All right, let me see if I can put on the voice. Here we go.
Hello!
There was a shout and a new whirlwind of leaves rushing through the air. From underneath one of the piles was a kid. Let's see. Who was this person? You couldn't look away from their eyes. They were really red. They had sparkly hair. You liked their scarf. There were leaves stuck in their hair and clothes. That was the prettiest person you'd ever seen. I like the sparkly hair. You couldn't hold the leaning forward position any longer and stumbled forward completely into the open area. You stared at them, and they looked right back at you as everything they'd thrown into the air gently drifted back down. Let's see. What would little SGG say here? Hi! She is so cute, isn't she? Oh, my little bean! Look at her! She's so cute! What a cutie patootie! That got the stranger giggling.
Wait here!
The jumping jack kid hopped again, but this time it was to get up off the ground. They dashed to the opposite edge of the open space, leaves scattering behind them, dropping out of their clothes and being kicked up by their steps. You were already wondering what was going to happen next. From behind one of the tall, crooked trees, the kids began throwing sticks and other plant pieces around. They were uncovering a hidden treasure. A big brown bag. Save real quick. They had to use both hands to lift the pouch and get it over their head. The thick strap pulled tight under the strain of the weight attached to it. The line of their mouth looked just as strained. The stranger huffed when they released the bag from their fingers, letting it rest completely across their shoulder. You heard stuff bumping around inside from your position way over here. It was a really full pack. But it didn't slow that kid down. They ran back at full speed to meet you where you were. When they were in front of your face, they gave a wave and asked a question.
Hi! Are you a girl too?
Yeah. She sung her own praises in a chiming tone.
Both girls!
And all of a sudden, the leafy girl seemed to remember to introduce herself, the way most people do.
I'm Tamarack!
Let's see. Tamarack. Yeah, SGG, little SGG would have no idea what a tamarack is. What's that mean?
A tamarack is a kind of tree. I like it a lot. So what's your name?
I'm Ariel. It's nice to meet you.
Wow! Hi, Ariel!
She greeted you with a finger-spread wave of her hand, as sweetly as if you'd already known each other, and she'd done it 100 times. Well, by this point we do kind of know each other, don't we?
Do you like it? Your name?
Yes, I like my name very much. But people should call me Little A. Oh, right, because I asked to use a nickname. But my friends sometimes call me Little A.
Oh. Alright. Why are you here? Where'd you come from? Are you visiting?
She piled on one question after the other, letting them bubble out like her laughter. I'm not some kind of tourist. My mom and me moved into this town. Tamarack gasped, her large eyes opening even wider. They were full of sparkles.
Me too! I'm new too! I moved to live with my Omi and Oppa. They have a house here, and I'm gonna be there now.
So yeah, Omi and Oppa are, grandparents, but I don't remember. I think Tamarack is American German, so I think those are German ways to refer your grandparents. Are those your parents' names, Omi and Oppa?
Nope. Omi and Oppa means Granny and Grandpa. It's German.
There we go. Nifty!
Yeah! I've been here 5 days, and it's really good. There's so much out here. I probably won't be finished for a long, long time. Months, maybe.
This is my very first day in Golden Grove. Nifty. Hi. Yeah, no, we're, Q cleaned it up. No, not in front of this, not in front of this sweet child. This sweet child is not ready for has-been.
Wow, that's barely different at all. Wearing that.
She furrowed her extra short eyebrows as much as she could as a new idea came to her.
Hey, we're both girls and new. What if we're the same age too? I'm 10.
I am too!
Hooray! Same age forever!
Oh my god, you know, oh, this is so sweet and wholesome. This is so sweet. She's so cute. I would have loved to have had a friend like Tamarack when I was 10 years old. I would have loved to have had a friend like this, man. Happily, Tamarack held onto the worn strap of her big bag and bounced up and down in place. You decided that this was the perfect time to talk to her about what you were doing. I miss having that sort of childish innocence. Right? Me too. Oh god, everything was so much easier as a kid. So what this is kind of reminding me of a little bit is pet peeves. There's a channel on YouTube I'm watching, and the artist is it's a series of animations, and the artist is basically telling their entire life story from childhood all the way to adulthood, but each era of their life is represented by a different character. So their childhood era was they called her Wild Child, and she was like a little frog girl. There was her current era is Blackbird, which is a little bird hybrid, and it's just in full disclosure, this is them processing their childhood trauma and their difficulties in childhood. So it does get dark at times, but I am very charmed by it, and I think it's wonderful, and it's extremely brave for putting your trauma out there on the internet like that, and especially in like an animated form. Like, I have nothing but respect for pet peeves. I would highly recommend that you guys go and check out their shorts. But be warned, they do cover some pretty heavy subject matter from time to time. There are content warnings at the beginnings of the shorts that do deal with the subject matter, so they don't spring it on you just out of the blue, which I appreciate. The channel is called Pet Peeves. And I'll post it in the Discord server for anyone who wants to check it out. I think it's very brave what they're doing, and I have a lot of respect for them. So, please go and check them out and show your support as well. Also, hello, Sleepy! Welcome! Welcome to Try It Tuesday! We are playing Our Life Now and Forever. And this is a visual novel in which we are a 10-year-old kid, and we have just met another 10-year-old named Tamarack, who, in the full version of the game, this is just the demo version, but I voiced this character in the full game release. So we are taking a little sneak peek of it tonight, so that you guys can, get hyped for it when it comes out later next year. Alright, so were you the one who threw the paper airplane, ma'am? Hey, I got hit with a paper airplane a little while ago. Was that you? Oh, look at all the little hearts around her!
Yeah! You got it?
Yes, I got it. It's right here.
Woo!
She flung her arms up over her head in celebration, knocking her bag out to the side. It made a thump noise when it swung back against her.
My aim is good.
You blinked at her in disbelief. You had done it. You found the mystery person who made that strange paper airplane message. So yes, this is a new game that I have voice acted in. The demo version does not have voice acting, unfortunately, but we will, the full version absolutely will, obviously. But tonight we're just checking it out and getting a feel for the game. She was entertaining, I think. How did you know my name?
You told me.
No, before that.
I didn't know it before that.
What's that supposed to mean? You thought you knew what disbelief was a second ago, but hearing that made you feel it in ways you never had before. The stunned look on your face got Tamarack to add more.
The paper I used wasn't mine. It was litter in the woods. I picked it up and put it in my bag because I couldn't leave it there on the ground. Then when I saw you standing in the road, I just had the idea. I could do something fun with that garbage by making it a paper airplane for you.
So you didn't write anything on it?
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay, so she's not the one who wrote our name on the airplane. Who did write the note then?
I don't know.
That was all she said. Tamarack couldn't tell you anything more. The person who wrote that strange message for you was still a mystery. You hadn't found them even after meeting the paper airplane person. You were more determined than ever to figure things out. There was no way you could let this go until you'd gotten answers. You started thinking more and more about this, making plans in your head. Tamarack could tell something was going on with you.
Ariel? What did the paper say? Was it funny?
Do you think random stuff is funny? It was short, and all the parts were on different lines. The words were, hello, go out, hide out, Ariel Graham.
What? So weird. Who would write that?
I know, that's what I was thinking. It's strange. Look at my... I love my little face. Okay, no, I love that we have our own little avatar in a visual novel. That is so rare. It's so cute. She took a big hop closer to you, a smile growing across her face as she landed.
You should keep going, and I'll come too. That paper isn't very old. It would have gotten wet or eaten by bugs if it was out there in the forest for a while. We could track them down and ask them what they were doing.
Yes! Yeah, little SGG absolutely would have had a partner in crime.
Woohoo!
Tamarack snatched up a nearby stick off the ground and directed the pointy end forward, the way you had come from.
We're gonna find the litterer who puts weird things on paper.
And so, you started to walk around the brown fall brush again, now with your new partner in the adventure. Tamarack came along from behind you with eager, skipping steps. She was right. You were going to find that note writer person who knew your name. Gotta head out. I'll be back on Thursday. All right. Take care, Zach. Thanks for tuning in. See you on Thursday. Soon you reached the head of the path. You were at the crossroads once more, but you'd brought back knowledge, and this new girl with you. All right, we did that one. It's where you were, and down there is just a car road. You stood at Tamarack's side, gesturing around animatedly with both hands. You didn't know if that helped her understand better, but you couldn't keep still. But there's that way over on the other side. You bent your knees, stretched out both arms, and pointed across the forked passage to where the second dirt imprint was. Tamarack couldn't possibly miss it with your direction. With her lips shut into a tight line, she nodded rapidly and with seriousness. But only for a second. Then she was perky again. She was having fun and only pretending like she wasn't always so silly.
Yeah. Okay. Down the tree path for you and me.
The decision easily made, you and her crunching footsteps started up again in unison. And still your quest continued. Tamarack joined the party! Let me save real fast. The path ended up being kind of a trick. You ran out of dirt to walk on after only a minute or two, and it became plain grass everywhere. Luckily, you only had to keep following the curved bend of brush and tree trunks that separated the forest from not the forest to know you were going where you had planned to go. Tamarack hummed a happy tune, not bothered by the changing ground at all. You made eye contact, and she started to speak words instead of music. Uh-oh. Did I skip something? Okay, yeah, I did skip something.
It's good that we're looking this way. Walking down the road that goes to the town would have been a bad idea.
Do your Omi and Oppa have a rule against that too?
I don't know.
Oh? Then how come? Her eyes went wide. Whatever news she had to give must be something awful.
Ariel, you have no idea because you just got here. But I've seen it. The town here is bad. The buildings were probably new when my Omi and Oppa were 10. It's old and dusty. Nobody's going anywhere or doing anything. They just live in this place, sit around and do that forever. You could never have fun there.
She spoke gravely, giving the topic a moment of silence. After that, her spark came back, lighting up her features.
But it's all okay, since it's right next to here.
Tamarack hopped along, directing her tent to the tree line at your sides.
Everything in the forest is growing or dying or changing, no matter what. You look at one spot, you look at a different spot, you look back at the spot, and you see something new you didn't even notice before.
She spread her arms across and up in front of your face playfully.
It's magic!
Oh, okay. Hi, Himiko.
Huh.
Then, as you strolled even farther, something came into view. You almost didn't notice it at first. Stretching out about as high as the trees, and made out of practically the same colored wood, was a tower sort of thing. Who's Himiko? Himiko from Danganronpa V3! Our ultimate mage girl! We haven't seen her a whole lot in the main story, so you can be forgiven for not remembering who she is. But she's the gal with the tired voice and the witch hat. Which, by the way, we are planning on doing Danganronpa V3 this Sunday, so be sure and tune in to that if my computer holds out, hopefully. The bottom of it was mostly empty space, with thin stick poles at the corner and only one full wall. There were little fake rocks stuck to the boards of the wall side, probably for people to climb on. Above was an actual floor with a slanty roof and railings around. Some ropes dangled off of it in multiple places. The thought came to you that it had the same feeling as a tree house, except not in a tree. But it definitely wasn't a real house. You might have found a local playground. A squealing whisper came right into your ear. Tamarack had noticed the wood thing too.
Let's go see it!
She pulled away from the side of your head to march to the tower without waiting for you to even answer. Curiously, you moved closer until you were right in front, and that's when you came to the shocking realization that there was something up in there at the top. Eyes squint to try seeing more clearly, and your neck bent back so far your head might fall off. You could make out a lumpy pile. You shouted out, "Hey! Is something there?"
Yeah! Is somebody home?
The sudden sound of a clattering ruckus from inside the fort made you flinch in place. It was a scrambling, thudding noise that you knew came from movement. That lump stopped being just a lump. It shot up, bit right over the railing, peered down, and saw you. I imagine that this is Sho. There she is! It was another kid.
I like the fluffy jacket.
The silent standoff of surprise played out between you and the stranger. Then all together, one half of their mouth, one of their eyebrows, and one of their hands shifted upwards. That lopsided pose they had and the fact that they were at the top of a tower made them seem pretty in charge here. Okay, I have no idea how show sounds in the... Cho sounds in the game. So bear with me as I do a voice for them. Who are you? Why are you in my backyard? Oh, they were in charge here. I didn't know this was your backyard. Somehow, they twisted their smile and leaned over the railing even more than before. Yeah, there's no fence. But there is a house right over there, and if you look again, you can even see that's the back of a house. And so, this is the backyard. My backyard, because I live in that house. You knew what a house was, and what a backyard was. Kid was making a joke of you. I don't know. How would a little SGG respond to being teased? Honestly, I was a pretty easygoing kid. I know I was made fun of a lot when I was a kid, but back then I was so easygoing, I just kind of went with it.
That house isn't close to here at all. It's way over there.
Your perfectly wise argument didn't have an impact on their stupid smile at all. I do have a pretty big backyard. Thank you for saying so. After doing her own snooping, Tamarack skipped out from under the tower to join you in the stranger's eye line. She didn't miss a beat, waving and introducing herself to the new person.
Hiya! I'm Tamarack.
Hey! At that, they pressed the palms of their hands hard against the railing, then used it to kick their legs up over the sides and throw themselves right off of the fort.
Whoa!
There was a powerful crunch and gust of air when the person hit the ground just a little to the side of where you were. They landed on their feet, crouching into a ball and making the hood of their jacket flip up over their head from the impact of falling so far down. The person, they did it, they did a superhero landing. Just say they did a superhero landing. The person stayed like that for long enough that the leaves they stirred up settled quietly onto the grass again. Then the kids straightened themselves out with more poise than you could have expected. Squared shoulders, chin up, and with one hand they pushed the hood down over their back again. They were confident, and they knew how to show it. That's that. Let's see. That was cool!
Yeah, it was.
They took hold of the open sides of their jackets and flapped them out, shaking off bits of stick and what other stuff that got on it when they collided with the dirt. Anyway, they shifted their head around to get their hair back over their shoulders, the way it was before, and then jabbed a finger into their own chest. Oh, it's a boy. Okay, so Cho's a boy, sorry. I'm Mr. Xiulin. Qiu and Lin. It means both of Qiu's arms. I have a little trouble with Chinese names. Please excuse me. Both of Qiu's arms. Qiu? I think it's Qiu. Both of Qiu's arms spread out openly, gesturing to the wide world all around. Autumn. Nice to meet you. What are your whole names? Through chuckles, Tamarack put on a fake voice that was deeper than her normal one, and probably meant to sound mature.
I'm Miss Tamarack Bauman. A tamarack is a tree.
That introduction got a thumbs up from Qiu. Cool, Miss Tamarack Bauman. Alright, well, we'll go in kind. I'm Miss Ariel. Hello, Kid Anime! Welcome! We are checking out Our Life Now and Forever, the demo version, in which we are playing a 10-year-old kid who is hanging out with these 10-year-old kids. And I voiced this one! This is Tamarack! She is the character that I will be voicing in the full version of the game that will come out later next year. That was perfect. Miss Ariel Graham.
Oh, but I've got a nickname that my friends sometimes call me. Lil A.
Cool. I got a nickname too. It's Autumn. Cause like I said, that's what my name means. You can use it if you wanna.
Alright.
Wait, and also, how old are you two? We seem pretty similar to me.
Me and Ariel are the same. 10.
Hyo slapped his fingerless gloved hands against the front of his chest to show just how taken aback he was. Whoa, so am I. Nobody else close by was exactly 10 before, and now there are 2 more.
Wow, we came at just the right time.
You did. And you two are gonna grow up someday, and I'm gonna grow up too, but that's never gonna stop us from being the same age. Cool. You haven't streamed in a while. Yeah, I took last week off because of Thanksgiving, but I am back. He's really pumped about us being the same age. Yay, friends! More 10-year-olds were better than less. But the talk you were having ended with a clear clap from Hyo to bring it to a close. Now that we're people who know each other, I still want to hear what you were doing. I've lived my whole life in this town, in this neighborhood, in that house, and I've never seen either of you anywhere. There's gotta be something going on. Tamarak's wide, knowing gaze met yours. You understood what you had to do. Well, you reached right into your pocket and presented the mystery paper to Hyo, wanting your own explanation. But before you even said anything about it, Hyo wheezed with a tight grimace. He looked as stiff as the wood tower behind him, just like that. He stammered and babbled and pointed his finger all around the space that was sort of in front of you, until the word finally came to him. A sorcerer! What? No, wait. Hyo threw his hands up higher towards his shoulders, the sudden movement making sure nothing interrupted his train of thought. You're a thief! That's why you're here, to rob my house! Okay, making some Evel Knievel jumps in logic here. I'm neither of those things. Sorry, but I'm not gonna be tricked. Once I see something, I don't unsee it. I'm like a hawk. Do you really think I'm a robber? He got all fluttery with his laugh and the waving of his fingers. Nah, you're just a kid. But you've got some good tricks. Hyo tucked one of his hands inside his jacket. He moved it around in there, humming the whole time. There was some kind of secret pocket or compartment in that coat. Aha! Just as you thought, when he removed his hand, he was grabbing onto something. It was a little notebook. The edges were bent up and crumbly, probably from being squished a lot of ways and a lot of times. And there were papers sticking out in weird ways that made you think they weren't even attached to the book anymore. They were just smashed between other pages to keep them in place. But the thing you noticed the most were the colors. Tan with dark brown lines. That's where the paper came from! Tamarak squealed, bounding closer to you. She and you had the same idea at the very same time. It was the paper from the airplane. Hyo flipped open the book, tapped in a slow, considering rhythm at the front page with the back of his knuckles, and said what you wanted to know without you having to do anything. That's my special paper, with my notes on it. But it's not in my notebook. It was in your pocket. You must have done the thing that's... the sleight of hand. Sleight of hand. That's what you did to snatch my stuff in the blink of an eye while I was standing right here. So, you're a magician or a pickpocket. That's all it could be. He shifted on his feet, putting one hand to his hip and using the other to make a waggling gesture with the notebook. Hyo was really confident in his accusation against you. Can you show me how you did it? But the wavy motion Hyo did was too much for the old notebook. It bent in half, upwards and downwards with the momentum of its owner's arms. Some of the papers slid out. They drifted to the ground lightly, the same way leaves fell from the trees. You stared right at them, sitting there freely like that. Joe didn't. Let's see. Little SGG would be... I already showed you my trick. You didn't notice, but look at the ground. Huh? Sho's eyes widened. He lifted the notebook over his head and twisted his feet outwards more to fully clear his view of the grass below. Finally, he spotted the missing pages. Whoa! Thanks. In the middle of talking, he dropped to his knees to scoop up the loose papers. It only took a second for each one to be gathered. He leaned off his knees onto his butt and made a little oof sound. From there, he got his feet against the ground while pushing up with his hands, still clutching the paper so he could stand again. With that successful rescue mission done, Sho delicately flipped through the notebook, inserting the loose papers along the way between different pages. He went all the way to the end. Then Sho's completed book was pressed shut once more. Hey, that really helped, Ariel. A beaming smile directed right into your face almost had you covering your eyes. But before that happened, he looked away. Sho twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made super sure that his entire sack of papers made it back safely this time. You heard a sigh of relief. In an even swooping motion, Sho tilted his head back over his shoulder to reveal his face again. That bright expression from before was completely gone. He had that smirk again. So, did you see that? I don't lose anything. Oh, there's more! There's more choices. Let's see. Break in the laughter. That was not at all how you'd expect him to reply, but it was amazing. You had to slouch forward to hold your stomach because it was that funny. Joe's fun with your reaction came out as a set of snickers. His cheeky mood drifted away once those were done. When Cho tilted his face back towards you, he was quiet and thoughtful. This is very mysterious. My paper vanished, and 2 new kids appeared in my backyard all out of nowhere. I don't get it. Yo, I'm your neighbor now. I moved into the middle house on the street. Oh, the new neighbors. That's right, that's you. It makes so much sense. Except for her. His growing excitement scrunched the confusion. Cho brought a hand to his chin while also pointing squarely at Tamarack with the other one. I'm pretty positive there was only going to be 1 new kid moving in. Unless... you're Ariel's mom! Tamarack was completely tickled by the idea, giggling and covering her mouth with her hands. She didn't do a good job at stopping any of the laughter from getting out.
No, I'm not a mom. I moved in with my Omi and Oppa.
Omi and Oppa? I've never heard of that. Is it another language?
Uh-huh. It's German. And they're German.
Cool.
Thanks. But they already had a house here. It's the gray one.
Whoa. There's a granny who lives there and a guy that's her husband. That's your Omi and Oppa?
I think so. Probably. Omi has really long hair. Oppa has short hair. And some of it's on his face. Omi and Oppa means granny and grandpa.
Yeah. Joe bobbed his head up and down with great understanding. Granny and him have a kid now. Huh. Wow. Then Joe shook his head side to side, flopping dark brown strands of hair around and trying to sort out his thoughts. But if you're just new neighbors, not thieves or sorcerers, how'd you know it was my paper? I didn't know. Not for sure. What, you were showing my notes off to everyone you saw in the world? Yeah, that was kind of the idea. Huh? You knew it would be a long story, so you took in a huge breath. Tamarack put her fist up eagerly in her own preparation to talk about what she had done. I got here today with my mom. She's waiting for the real estate agent, so I had to go spend time doing something. I went down to the road and a paper airplane hit me in the shoulder and nobody was there.
That was me! I threw it and ran away. It was great.
I picked it up and opened the plane and saw the stuff written on it. I thought the person throwing the plane was trying to give me a message.
But that wasn't me who wrote it.
Right.
Then, Ariel went into the forest after, and I jumped out of the leaves as a surprise.
Sho nodded along, probably not getting everything you two were talking about, but curious enough to just keep listening. And then I talked to her about the paper airplane I found, and she told me what we said, that she made the plane but didn't write what was on it. I asked where she got it. Tamarack chimed in again as your story continued to bounce back and forth between the two of you.
I found it on the ground in the woods. It already had the note, but I didn't think that was important at first. Ariel made me wonder about it, and we went out to discover the word writer.
And it was you. Poor Sho being bombarded by two hyperactive 10-year-olds. Oh man, like I said, if I'd had a friend like Tamarack when I was a kid, like, dude, the entire neighborhood would have been scared of us. We would have been a force to be reckoned with. We would have had the neighborhood in fear. Two hyperactive kids with probably undiagnosed ADHD. Huh. Hyo put his hands on his hips as though he thought hard about the info he'd learned from you. You're saying all this random stuff was for fun?
I guess so.
But if you're the one who wrote that, how did you know my name? That was on the note. And what were those other words supposed to mean? Hello, go out, hide out, Ariel Graham? It doesn't make sense. Oh! Chio cracked a smile and flicked out his own arms to start his own explanation. That was just stuff I was gonna do. Counting 1, 2, 3 on his fingers, Chio listed off each part of the letter simply. Hello, say hi to the people around, go out, visit a town or another neighborhood or whatever. Hide out means go to my hideout. Hugh stopped the countdown to pat the sturdy wooden wall behind him with pride. Right here. I like the hideout, though. I do, too. Oh, right. Yeah, for your name being there, my mom and dad told me. They talked about how people were moving in next door and how there was going to be a kid my age and that her name was Ariel. It was cool to me, so I wrote it down. That way I wouldn't forget. And I even took out and read that page a lot to make sure it'd be something I remembered. Looks like I forgot after all. Let's see. Well, thanks for trying to remember anyway. You're welcome. I'll remember it this time, definitely. But that's pretty crazy with the paper airplane. It's really impressive you two put the whole thing together. He was right. You and Tamarack had now been able to discover the whole story. It went better than you thought. But you realized suddenly how late it must have gotten. Your mom would start to worry soon. That wasn't good. Your turning thoughts were put on pause when Shilk suddenly changed the subject. Hey, Ariel, Tamarack, I'll walk you around back to the front. I want to hang out some more.
I should probably see how Omi and Oppa are. They're pretty old and need help sometimes. Yeah, we could all go back together.
All right. You relaxed your stance, accepting that this was really over now.
Yay!
Her cheer had extra pizzazz because she still had that stick to point up high.
To our houses!
While chuckling, Chio used his fist to enthusiastically punch the air. It matched Tamarack's pose. Homeward bound!
All right! Yeah!
She cupped her hands around her mouth to make it extra loud. And so you started to walk through the yellowed fall grass to get to the neighborhood again. But you weren't going to be alone there. Tamarack bounded ahead, bouncing her arm up and down with the stick like she was the conductor of a marching band, while Shil came alongside you with even, casual steps. You were returning to that house. Your new neighborhood had become even more orange-toned by the time you finally returned to it. The far-off sun slowly sank away behind the tallest mountain and forest to sleep for the night. Your shadows grew larger, pulling away from your bodies to reach out into the street ahead. The dark shapes morphed and combined with one another as you walked in your own mismatched rhythm. All while the eyeball chilliness of the outside world got more powerful bit by bit. Tamarack still stayed about 2 steps ahead. Sometimes she was closer, and sometimes she got away from you again. She used her stick to knock at the bushes and lamps along the sidewalk. Shil was next to you, but it switched things up so he was taking large skips backwards. You guessed it was to look at you in the face better, or he just thought it was fun. He pointed out the sharpest building on the street as he went. Part of it looked almost like a tower, a different kind than the one in the backyard. See, that's the house from the front. It's great. And that's your house, right? The one in the middle? And Granny owns that one even further, and Granny owns that even further away one. Cool. The sound of your steps continued to echo through the cul-de-sac until you came to a stop right in the center of the path. You'd arrived. Tamarack put both her hands up in front of her chest and waved them around.
I'm going home!
Tamarack spun in place before dashing further along the sidewalk to the sloped gray house on the other end of the neighborhood. Her bag clunked and jingled at her side the whole way there. Bye! Okay, this is it. Joe pulled out an eager grin. We gotta meet up again later. See you! Joe flipped around to go back the same way he had come with you. He needed to return to the pointy red house, the huge backyard. He didn't drop any papers this time. You waited there in front of the house in the dimming evening light, watching the 2 other kids go to their homes right on the same street. It was cool to meet you two! That was everything. The whole outing was done. In the quiet resolution of your first day in this place, the 2 encounters you had earlier that afternoon drifted through your head. Tamarack and Chio. Tamarack and Chio are the 2 leads of our life now and forever. At the start of each step, you can choose what kind of relationship standing you share with each of them. These relationships are always mutual. For example, if you choose to have a crush on the lead, they will have a crush on you as well. Your relationship can grow closer during special moments in each step, and you can grow closer or more distant between steps. If you begin dating a lead, however, you won't be able to break up with them. You can only date one character at a time until step 4, where there will be an option to pursue a polyamorous relationship with both leads. Oh! They're doing the Hades thing! Where you can have a relationship with both Megara and Thanatos. Hey! Poly-representation! Let's go! Tamarack and Sho will never be romantically involved with each other. In this demo, there isn't an opportunity to date either lead. You can also choose expressions to influence how you and the leads interact with one another. These do not have to be mutual and can change at the beginning of each step. Sho and Tamarack's expression elements towards you are fixed in step 1, but will be influenced in later steps by your choices or manually adjusted. Check the question mark for a more detailed description of what each expression means. Alright, so we are friends, I hope. Well, hang on, let me see here. You know each other, but it's nothing more than that. You can be amicable, cold, or even hostile. You're friends. You may even become best friends. You have romantic feelings towards each other. These feelings may be known or secret. You can have a crush on both Tamarack and Sho, but you can only enter an official relationship with one of them. The other person is your best friend, whom you are closer with than other friends. You may or may not have romantic feelings for them as well. Only one person can be your best friend. You can choose to be best friends with Cho or Tamarack during step 1, and it will be included as an option on this screen in later steps. You truly love family. You truly love the other person and will always keep them in your life in a fully platonic way. You truly love them and will always keep them in your life in a clearly romantic way. Only one character may be at Beloveds. Both family and Beloveds aren't available until later steps once you've known the characters for longer. Okay, now what about this? Meter 1, deferring, teamwork, and contesting. Deferring, you're a follower or prefer to go with the flow. You are a collaborator or a compromiser. You prefer to be a leader or decision maker. You go out of your way to casually or potentially flirtatiously compliment the other person. You keep your thoughts on others to yourself. You like to make jokes. You see the other person as more incredible than most. You tend to see the person on the same level as you. You like to take care of or look out for the other person. Okay, got it. So, in this case, I would probably be deferring towards Tamarack. I would say deferring, praising, and admiring. And I mean, we've only known each other for a day. Can we call her a friend yet? I'm just gonna go ahead and say that we're friends. Like, immediate friendship day 1. Alright, so for Cho, deferring. Let's see. Yep, I'd say deferring, praising, and admiring too. Yeah, we'll say we're all friends right now. First day in and I've already made 2 new friends. Things were so different for you from just that morning when you left and went on the drive to move. Before then, you'd never been in Golden Grove. You'd seen it only in pictures, and hadn't known anyone who was a local there. But here you were, a person who lived in the town and was friends with the neighbors on both sides of your house who also lived here. Were you friends? You thought so. Ariel, is that you? Your mom called from over the fence. Coming! You bounded forward and passed through the gate. Mom had left the porch and was there to meet you. Oh, thank you for coming back. I'm sure you're having an exciting time out there. I met people! I met friends! I'm so glad. I look forward to hearing all about it. From strength to strength, we've got the key to the house. The agent finally arrived about 20 minutes ago. He's gone now, but I haven't peeked yet. The both of us should be here for this. It's your house, too. Yeah! This is our house now! Absolutely. Come on. Hello, Sonic the Hammonds! Welcome, welcome! We are checking out Our Life Now and Forever, a game in which I am a VA for! I voiced Tamarack in child version. In the full version of the game, which will be coming out later next year. Thank you for the stretch and the hydrate, by the way. Mom turned to go and slipped the key out from her sweater pocket. She gestured with the other hand for you to follow. Your mom led the way as you went back up the stairs. The key fit perfectly into the hole on the door, and Mom smiled at the sound of an unlocking click. Carefully, she leaned forward with her shoulder, giving it a nudge, unsure if the best option for the ancient door was extra force or extra restraint. The house opened with a creak. Air came out through the front like it was exhaling. Mom let out a breath at the same time. Over here, Ariel. There's space for you to get a little closer. You can see inside here. you scooched in towards your mom's side in the doorframe. It was then that you noticed that there was a mat at the front. It had a light color and a kind of hard but fluffy texture. The sort of mat that'd get dirty looking right away when it was used, but was still clean and nice. It hadn't been worn down at all, like the rest of the building. I can't stay, but I had to say hi. I'll be adding this game to the list. Don't forget to eat. Alright, I've already had dinner, but thank you! Thanks so much for tuning in. Please check out the game when the full release comes out next year. Today is Joshua Seth's birthday, voice of Ty and Digimon. Yeah! Happy birthday, Joshua! Okay, Ty was probably... I don't know if I like Ty or Matt better in the OG Digimon. I liked both of them. I think I was crushing pretty hard on both of them, honestly, but I think Matt just edged it out for me just a little bit more. And then Digimon 02 came out, and I fell very, very hard for Ken, my first anime boy crush. This part of the house wasn't just an old thing left behind by other people who didn't need it or want it anymore. Someone must have put it there for this happening, for your mom and you moving in. Written across the top, it said, "Welcome home." Aww. Oh. Yeah. Why? Come on, I wasn't much older than Tamarack and Joe when I had that crush. Come on now. Take it easy. Alright, let's get back to the welcome home. There we go. Thank you for the cat spray. Mom softly tapped the top of your shoulder, bringing you back into the moment. She kept the hand there, leading you ahead with her. The two of you walked through the door. Everything in the air was still. The wind was blocked, but it was practically as cold inside as it was out of the house. Mom shifted forward cautiously, feeling around for a light switch. Got it. A dim light from the ceiling sparked on in an instant, and there in front of you was an old-fashioned living room. The house had furniture that came along with it, but it wasn't a set. The pieces were mismatched, each chair, table, and bookshelf in a different color. They were covered in transparent sheets of plastic and in dust. What, we didn't have our own furniture? Really? Did we get bum rushed out of our old place? The room had a real fireplace made of brick. Nice. In the back, you could see a staircase going up to another floor. Oh, it's beautiful. It's even better than the photos. So much potential inside these walls. It could work once you had your stuff out. Mom was right. It had potential. Your mom touched the tips of her fingers to the muted blue paint next to her. We'll have to clean it as much as we can to make it livable before bed. It's gonna be a long night. We can unpack more of our things tomorrow. I'll be doing much of that on my own. You're going to be busy. Mom increased the pitch of her voice, squinting her eyes sweetly. After all, it's the first day of 5th grade. You threw your hands up in the air from the excitement. She chuckled gently while watching you. We got here just in time, huh? Her eyes drifted closed, and there was a crease in her brows. She seemed further away, without having gone anywhere. Even if I'm here early for the job, Even if I am here early for the job, I was not going to make you be a full week late to class. Being new to a town like this is already going to make you a point of attention. You couldn't tell if she thought that was a good thing or a bad thing by her tone, but Mom didn't say any more about that. She lifted her circle scarf over her head, careful to not have it catch on her earrings, and left it on top of her suitcase. So, want to see the upstairs? Yeah! The second floor was more of the same. Lonely, sealed-away rooms with furniture nobody had been using for ages that were covered up by plastic sheets. And lots of dust. You could see the footprints your mom left behind in the grime as she wandered the hall with wide, amazed eyes. After checking the state of the whole house, Mom made the decision to leave the furniture in its protection until after the sweeping was finished. There were too many dust buddies that might jump over to take a seat on your couches if a spot was available. I hope I can remember where I put that dustpan. The room itself shouldn't be hard to find. You returned to the living room and Mom got her trusty pair of crafting scissors out of her suitcase. She put her scarf inside it while taking the scissors out. Mom then went through some of the taped up boxes like it was her birthday, and each one was a shiny, unopened present with a ribbon on top. But her gift was just stuff she already owned. One by one, she took out the supplies she had been brought for this very moment, setting them around her legs on the floor wherever there was space. Then she divided them out into separate piles. A pair of yellow gloves, a fluffy fresh duster, a bottle of cleaning spray, and a full roll of paper towels. Mom had a set of her own. The other was for you. You were going to need them. There was only one broom and dustpan that she did successfully find. You were going to take turns using that. The first move in make the house a place people can actually live in plan was yanking over the streaky windows to get some airflow going. Though before even that, you had to get the locks on the windows themselves to come loose. You dug your fingers in between the base of the window frame and the latch pressed against it, forcing it to move against its will. When the lock clicked into place on the opposite side, you shoved the window up with both hands. Your gloves were already patchy with filth. The icy crisp breeze that flowed in from outside was a lot more welcoming at this point. You got a good look at the neighborhood while catching your breath. Streetlights had come on, but you then left the window there to do its job and got back to yours. The two of you went back and forth and up and down around the house to open up everything that you could. Some windows were jammed in places so tight, you had to leave it alone for your mom to get to later. The next point on the list was to somehow scrub down all the floors, walls, counters, and every other inch of space where dust could settle, which was every inch of the entire house. You picked a spot and gave it a sweep with the fuzzy head of the duster. A nice line of clear wood followed behind your motion. This is rough. Moving in and then immediately having to clean up the house as soon as you move in, that's rough, especially at night. Jeez. That pattern continued for a while, and wherever the dust layer was gone from a spot, you'd go back over it again with the cleaning spray to really make it shine. Your mom was able to track down and turn on the heater. Not that you could tell the difference with all the windows wide open. Eventually, you had a short dinner break with your mom, standing around in the kitchen together with the two of you as dusty as the rest of the house. It was packed meals from the car. Simple sandwiches, fruits with thick peels that wouldn't get smashed on the drive, little bags of granola and pretzels, and juice boxes. There were no groceries. The rickety fridge was off and totally empty when you checked. It was a relief. I like that you only have two options here. I'm glad there was nothing gross there. You had prepared for the worst for such an old, practically abandoned house. But there wasn't a single bottle of nasty ketchup or box of unknown leftovers or anything. The trash from your food was dumped into the same giant black garbage bag that you've been throwing piles of gray stained paper towels and wads of squished together tape in for the whole night. Somehow, the bag was getting full, even though it was big enough to fit your whole body inside. It was a mark of how much work you'd really done. Looking at just the house made you think you hadn't even gotten started. The only way to change that was to keep going, as your mom talked about when encouraging yourself to clean again after dinner. You and your mom polished up the house as best you could for even more hours. But when your usual bedtime arrived, Mom put the duster and scissors down. She wasn't going to have you stay up late, no matter how excited she was to unpack. She guided you to the first floor bathroom. The ones on the second floor were too dirty to use, plucking your overnight bag off the counter along the way. Your mom explained how she'd do around throughout the whole house to close the windows to keep busy until the bathroom was free and left you to get ready to sleep. Inside the bag was little baby-sized versions of normal toothbrush and mouthwash containers and simple toothbrushes. All you had for pajamas that night was a green long-sleeve shirt with matching pants. You got as clean as you possibly could with just a sink to use. Trying to get the grimy feeling off your skin wasn't easy and took way longer than usual, but it was crucial. Oh, and it makes mention my glasses! Take the glasses off. Don't go to sleep in your glasses, kids. You changed into your PJs and let your mom have her turn. While she was away, you took out your special blanket. It was something you couldn't sleep without. The furniture was still plastic wrapped, so you crouched down and sat on the rug. Mom returned only a couple of minutes later wearing her purple pajamas. And she also had sleeping bags tucked under each of her arms. She shifted one forward to hold against the front of her chest and dropped the other onto the floor. It landed with a puff. That'll be mine. Your mom noted while trying to untie the band that kept the sleeping bags together in a roll. She pulled and pinched at the knot. When it didn't budge, she lifted the bundle to her face and used her teeth to try to pry the threaded bands apart from each other. Don't use your teeth to open knots, guys. That's bad. She got it loose and victoriously flapped the bag all the way open. She laid it down in the clean spot on the wooden floor. There you are, Ariel. All ready. Okay. You used your feet and rocked back and forth to move yourself across the antique rug, scooting towards the sleeping bag without getting off the ground. Mom chatted casually while spreading out her own bag nearby. We'll need to get some wood so we can actually use that fireplace on nights like these. Did your mom know how to use a fireplace? He'd never seen one in person until now, and so far, he had still never seen one that had fire in it. Luckily, the house was warm and cozy even without that. Since the window stopped letting the chill in, the heater worked. That was sort of a surprise to you. Mom soon settled down on the center of her temporary bed. She sat cross-legged with her back solidly straight. Her hands came to rest on the top of her knees, and she made direct eye contact with you. Thank you for your help with the house today. It'll be home before we know it at this rate.
I'm tired! Mom, I'm tired!
I can understand that. She slouched her shoulders, easing away some of the stiffness. Guess what I did? You hid behind the fence the entire time. No, Mom. Okay, tell me, dear. After pausing just a little to build suspense, you began to narrate the entire story of the paper airplane adventure. From the moment it hit, to the way it led you down the forest crossroads, finding Tamarack in her leaf pile and all of her surprises, then meeting Cho on his tower with his notebook full of loose pages. Mom listened with her whole self, leaning forward and grinning wider with each new turn you revealed. You wrapped it up by explaining how you returned to the neighborhood with Cho and Tamarack after everything you'd discovered. What a way to spend an afternoon! I'm proud of you, Ariel. You're a bona fide detective. Aw, I had no idea you'd gotten into such a winding journey. You kicked your legs up and down on your sleeping bag, very pleased with her reaction. I don't think I was much of a detective as a kid. I was more of a wrecking ball as a child, more than a detective, but you know, it's nice to pretend. It was a fun story to tell. Somehow the events of the day feel like they were a long time ago, or that they'd happened to someone else and you just heard about it. But it had been real. The paper airplane hit your shoulder. You held the note in your hands. And you saved that paper with your things as a keepsake. It had nice memories that went with it. With your topic all done, Mom softly spoke up to share her own thoughts with you. It's odd, imagining this entire building collecting dust for all this time, isn't it? No one wanted to live here. Not renters, not the man who owned it, but it's a charming house. Yeah, it is. How did we get to have something like this? Mom pinched her lips together in consideration. Then she kept talking. There aren't a lot of opportunities out in these woods, I suppose. At my company, the retiring of the former HR manager was the first big position I've ever heard of for this area. And even that didn't open up for people already living in town. I was asked to relocate to take the position. Creases grew around her eyes the more she thought about it. She caught herself before a frown could form. But it's not an issue. I'm grateful. We'll find our place in the slow pace of Golden Grove. And at least we'll have each other regardless. We'll always be together. Love you, Mom. If that's as long as you need me, we will. Then your mom stretched her legs out fully across her sleeping bag, wiggling her toes inside the black socks she had on. Seeing Mom right there on the floor with you was cool. You didn't hang out during bedtimes like this most nights. It was special. As you thought about that, your eyelids were trying to tape themselves up with the sticky, gritty stuff your eyes made when it was extra late. Alright, dear. You should get inside the sleeping bag now before you blink out on top of it. That sounded like a pretty good idea. Scooping your special blanket into both your arms, you shimmied into the open end of the bag. It was made out of fabric that was so smooth, it wasn't difficult to do. You moved further down until the edge was to your chin. You were wrapped up like a loaf of bread in a grocery bag. Whoops. Mom got to her feet, taking a short jog over to the far wall of the room. She lifted a finger to the light switch, but kept her gaze down on you. The expression on her face was gentle. Good night, Ariel. Good night, Mom. The room went pitch black with a click. While your eyes were trying to adjust, you heard the shuffling sounds of Mom. She had joined you on the floor again. Those noises soon stopped. Mom didn't talk anymore. There weren't sounds of cars passing outside. There was a thumping in your ears, and you thought you might have heard a creak somewhere. The night noises were a lot different than what you had experienced with. They were so quiet and distant. It made you notice them more if they were clearer. You'd have to get to know the sounds better. It was another part of the house's personality. You were okay with that. It was normal to need time to get familiar with each other. You pressed your eyes shut. In your head was thoughts of my new friends. You tossed and turned in the squishy cocoon, wanting to sleep so tomorrow would come sooner, but too excited to do so. It was way too long of a night. Then, your second day in Golden Grove arrived. During the game, occasionally you'll get the opportunity to change what you're wearing. You may be able to take off accessories or outer layers during some moments. Oh, so I can change. I can change and get ready for school. Okay, well, I think this is actually a pretty good place to stop for tonight. So, before that, I am going to put on something new. What did I used to wear as a kid? Oh, at special points in clothing, you may want to dress your character in special clothing that reflects their cultural heritage. Oh, cool! I don't really have a cultural heritage. I am as white as bread. Let's see. Alright, what would be... This looks cute. I don't think I had anything like this when I was, growing up. I didn't have anything this cute. What would I have actually worn? Ah, no, you know what? This is cute. This is cute. I like this. We'll go with this. Let's see. What if I just give myself a little hat? Yeah, this is very much not how little SGG looked. Let's see. Yeah, this is fine. We'll just do this. We'll stick with the denim. All right. So I think this is a good place to stop for now. So that is that's gonna be all for now. But I am very excited about this. We will absolutely be doing a full LP of this when the game releases at some point next year. It will have full voice acting. It'll have a lot more. I'm amazed at how much this already has, like, just right now. So, but yeah, this is a very sweet, very sort of cozy sort of game. Very different from the stuff I usually play. But it's nice. It's nice. It's a breath of fresh air, and I hope that you guys will get to know and love Tamarack and Cho and all the other characters that will be showing up in this game. So again, thank you very much to GB Patch for letting me be part of this world. I am so excited to see what lies ahead for Tamarack and Cho and the rest of the crew. So be sure and you can wishlist Our Life Now and Forever right now on Steam. You can also download the demo for yourself. There is a little bit more than what I showed tonight. There is a little bit more to step 1 and a little bit of step 2, the early teenage years as well, I believe, is included in the demo. So if you guys want to see more, go and download the demo for yourself. Be sure to wishlist it on Steam and show your support when the game comes out. So that's gonna do it for me. Next stream is going to be on Thursday. We will be back with more Urban Myth Dissolution Center. And we'll be having Danganronpa on Sunday. Hopefully my computer won't crash again. I'll figure out what's going on. I think it's something with my graphics card, but I'll have tech support take a look at it. But that's it for tonight. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope y'all had fun. And again, Our Life Now and Forever. Be sure and check it out. And until then, this is SGG signing off. Stay super, everybody. I will see you Thursday for more Urban Myth Dissolution Center. Have a lovely evening, and I will see you guys then. Bye, everybody.